I'm here today with Julio Cabrera. He is the Cantinero and founder of Cafe La Trova. How you doing today, Julio?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Enjoying my trip to Panama.
Oh, Panama. That's wonderful. This would be our first international interview then. So I'm very excited about that.
Yes, I had a trip here to Panama to know a little bit more about Panamanian rum, some of the beautiful rum they're doing here. So I'm doing some visiting distilleries and blending houses to know a little bit more about the rum here. So I had planned this visit, and at the same time I had this podcast with you. So I wanted to do uh, both at the same time and not to lose any opportunity.
Well, I'm humbled that you're here and thank you very much for your time. And, I think this is a great place to start though, right? So when I introduced you, it was Cantinero. So, obviously I've got a little bit of an idea what that is, but I think that's a great place to start. We talk about you and your background and kind of how you got to where you are. So kind of go through that and maybe explain to people what you're doing in Panama there, connect some of the dots.
Yeah, I'm learning a little bit more about rum. I'm a rum guy. I'm a rum connoisseur, and everything around rum is very important for me. So I've been visiting all distilleries, all rum distillery in the Caribbean and in the whole world for the last year, for the last 10 years, I think, and also tequila distilleries and in Europe, gin distillery, all kind of distillery, but mostly rum distillery. So I wanted to check every good distillery in the Caribbean. I think this one in Panama was the only one it was missing in my checklist. All other great rum distilleries in the Caribbean, I think I have visited. Is Haiti, I think, is the one I haven't been yet, but hopefully next year I'm going to Dominican Republic and Haiti. And but yes, it's amazing to be here, and it's part of my background. I'm agronomy engineer, agricultural engineer. I studied that a lot of years ago in Cuba, and then I moved into the hospitality industry, and I've been bartender or cantinero since 33 years. Since '89. And I say cantinero because it's the way we call in Cuba the professional bartender. And when I say professional, it's because when you become a bartender, it's going to be probably for all your life. You won't change that profession for anything else. So in Cuba, to be a cantinero, you have to go to school. First, you have to go to school. You cannot be a cantinero or bartender without going to school and getting your degree, your diploma. So it's something that you study, like you study any other career, engineer, doctor, or something, or lawyer. So cantinero, in Cuba, it's the same. It's a lot of respect for that profession, a lot of passion. So that's the most important things, that you have to go to school, and then you have to follow a lot of rules, how you dress, your technique, your knowledge, the classic cocktails. So it's a lot of things, and that's why we call ourselves cantineros. And I've been 33 years bartending in different countries, like first in Cuba, like 16 years. Then I moved to Italy for 4 years, Mexico 2 years, and then I've been in the States for another 16 years.
That's amazing. I think there are plenty of people here who are bartenders, we'll call them, who have not had to go through anywhere near that amount of training to just sling drinks behind a bar. Julio, one of the things that amazes me, and I think this is a great opportunity for us to start the conversation here, right? Your restaurant, Cafe La Trova. I mean, anybody who's looked at any top 10 lists for regional, national, international, they're going to see your restaurant there, right? So could you maybe tell us a little bit about your restaurant and kind of what makes it unique, and really what's been able to kind of get that excellence that you all have achieved?
It's a dream. It's a dream I've had for I don't know how many years, to have my own place with my styles, a place that embrace everything that is important for me in my life and in my career, and a place that identify what I'm doing, not just behind the bar, around everything. The music, the cigars, the coffee, the food, everything, the culture. So in 15, I think, yeah, 2015, I had an idea, and I mean, the idea I had it before, but I felt in 2015 that I was ready to do it, because it's not is not to do things where you're not ready. It's something very important is when you have to do something, and something very important like this, to open your own place, your first place, you have to feel that you're ready to do it. So when I felt that I was ready to move in that direction in 2015, I started looking for a place, looking for partners, and to bring this concept, this idea to make it live, to make it, to make my dream come true. And it is basically an authentic Cuban place. Cuban place, there are so many all over, but authentic Cuban place that you have 100% authentic, everything that is important in your country. I think that's what I did. Great live music every night, 7 nights a week. We have Latin Grammy in our group. We have our own band. We have a lot of Latin Grammys, really good traditional Cuban music. We have the cantinero style that nobody in the world can have, 100% cantinero style. How they do, how they perform, it's like a behavior, a way of life, a way of life of our bartenders. They are cantineros, all Cubans as well. And we have the food, we have the drinks, we have the cigar, we have the coffee, we have everything. So we have everything that is important for our culture in Cafe La Trova. And that's why, we have been doing everything right. And, manager, the staff, the partners, everybody is doing in the same way it was thought. And that's why we have get some accolades so far. Yeah.
Absolutely. I know that having worked in plenty of hotels where we were, going for our 5-star, 5 diamond ratings and shooting for excellence. One of the things I knew that was absolutely necessary for us to be successful, and it sounds like you probably have it as well, was having an amazing team behind us. From your perspective, you have an authentic experience that you've built there. How do you find amazing talent to be able to continue to be excellent like that?
It's really hard when you have concept. The first things you have to find is the people who gonna implement the concept or your ideas. Because I can have the best idea, I can build the most beautiful place, but if I don't have the staff or the right people to deliver what you're thinking and to deliver your concept, you're done. You cannot do anything without the talent. So for me, when I thought about this concept, I already had in mind the people who want to work there. Some friend of mine from Cuba they moved to Miami. They were living in Miami for years, and they were bartenders, cantineros in Cuba, and they were doing something else in Miami. So I rescued all those guys who couldn't find a proper job here in Miami. They were doing construction, factories and I said, listen, you are guys cantineros with more than 25 years experience, some of them close to 60 years old, 55 years old, and we have to do a place here in Miami where we can rescue the cantinero style, the cantinero culture, and we can work with the training, of course, the training of the new things here in the United States. But after the training, you can do something really remarkable all together in Miami and La Trova. So that's why we created it, and we created a place for all those cantineros who were doing something else. And but it's really hard to find new people to the reliever of those old cantineros. And when you have a concept like that, to find the right people to do it, yeah, it's hard. And mostly as the pandemic, it's a lot of lack of commitment in the people to work behind the bar. Nowadays, it's not 10, 15 years ago when I was going to competitions here in the United States. Going to competition was in those competitions were the best bartenders in the United States, the best bartenders in Miami, the best part. Now you go to a competition, you don't know anybody. Nobody wants to compete. Nobody wants to show to competition. Some bartenders after 3-4 years bartending, they say, no, I'm too old to be bartender. I've been 3 years working every night. I'm tired. I heard my shoulder shaking. I'm going to be brand ambassador. or I'm gonna do something else. So it's what I've seen lately. Some other people are doing something else. They move after the pandemic. They move to do something else. So I have seen a lack of passion in a lot of bartenders. Not everybody, of course. It's not general. So we have great bartenders. We have still great young people, young bartenders that they have a lot of interest in learning and be better. But mostly, it's not like before. Now to find the people who can work for you like 2 years is really hard. People move from opening to opening. They open it here, they open. I don't know. They get bored very. Instead of building his own career in a place, they move from place to place, and then at the end they got tired and they start doing brand ambassador for a whiskey or for a vodka. And it's easy money, it's easy expenses with a credit card. That's easy, but it's not passion. If you are a true bartender with the passion, if you want to build a career as a bartender, you never change your career for something else, even if you can make more money.
Well, that's first of all, that's amazing. Because you're absolutely right that if you have the passion for whatever piece of hospitality you're in, right, whatever part of the business you're in, you can absolutely make a phenomenal career out of it. And you could definitely build. Speaking of building, one of the questions I have is you said, you're having to, basically find new cantineros as your existing staff is starting to age, out of the program. Are you training people in this style where you are? And if so, how does that work?
Yeah, we have to identify first the talent, the real talent, not just Cuban, because I have Peruvian bartenders as well. So we have to identify the talent who have the commitment, the interest in learning, or the passion to be cantinero a la trova, to stay with us and to build a career. I give them the opportunity to learn training. They become really good bartenders a la trova, really good cantineros. I give them the possibility to travel into all the countries I go. Cafe La Trova is doing pop-ups everywhere in the world, everywhere. So probably every month we have a pop-up somewhere. I'm always taking different cantineros all the time. They travel. I'm trying to motivate them to stay a la trova, to learn every day, to be in competition. So I'm trying to encourage them and empower them to be better. And that's what I'm doing. That's why after the pandemic, we retain 100%. I mean, 90%, 99% of the people. Just one left because he was finishing the studies in nursing or something. So he was studying for nurse. During the pandemic, he finished his studies. That's the only reason he became a nurse. He was a really good bartender, but he became a nurse and working in a hospital right now. Was the only one we lost during the pandemic, but we retained everybody. Now that the sales and all the business increased even before now than before pandemic, we have hired 4 or 5 new cantineros, and because we're traveling as well. So if we travel, we need to have some staff to be able to work to cover the shift. So we have new bartenders now, but yes, we have to identify the real talent and to train them and motivate them and to make them part of the best bartending team in America. That we won that award last year, best bar team in America. So if they want to be best bar team, part of the best bar team in America, they had to be focused and engaged.
That's amazing. And I think that, when you are talking about building talent, right, it's not just behind the bar though, right? I mean, how's your talent look in the rest of the facility? I mean, are you putting that kind of effort into servers or the people who are, like you said, your cigar experience? What does that look like for you?
Everybody, the servers, we train them how to do everything in the dining room, exactly the same the cantineros does behind the bar, the cantineros do behind the bar. It's all about details, attention to details. We train them how to do a cigar service, not just a wine service. So everything, and nobody's allowed to drink during shift. No managers, nobody is allowed to have a shot or nothing. And the behavior is important, the discipline is important, but we treat them like a family. We don't treat them like our employees. We are a family, and we are doing that together. And when I'm there, I'm working with them and helping them to make their job easier and better. So it's like a family. It's a family business, and we treat the people as a family.
That's great, because I mean, authenticity is I think probably one of the number one things that people look for when they go to a job. When they choose to work at Cafe La Trova, they're saying, is it just the awards? Is it, or is it really a good place to work, right? And if you're treating everybody like a family and you're building that kind of environment, it sounds like you're creating the environment that you're seeing on the outside as well. So that's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we have created a culture. Like Cafe La Trova is a culture. So we created a culture in that environment, and people feel good. People say, we come here to work with desire to work with, we want to work here. We come to work, and we don't feel like, oh my God, I have to go to work. So they go into work, they dance when they are working and dancing at the same time. They can dance with people, they can and have fun. So our place is to work, but to have fun at the same time, and they make money. They make money as well.
Oh, I bet
they pay their bills.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, I used to live in Miami. I used to, run the sections of the Ritz-Carlton down there. Miami's an interesting place to live. And so, how are you building that positive, that amazing culture, given we'll call them challenges that come with Miami?
It is challenging. Miami, we have everything. We have different kind of crowd. We have different kind of people, and we have places for everybody. Our place is a place for, I don't think for kids. It's a place for people over 30, 35 years old, more mature people with that nostalgic about Cuba and about the true music, not reggaeton or this kind of. No, we play traditional Cuban music, so it's not for everybody, and we have a really good clientele, local clientele. So we have a mix now of, let's say, 60 local and 40 tourists, because mostly every tourist that goes to Miami, they know about La Trova somehow, in the flight and in Google or in the hotel. They find out, and always La Trova is the first things that shows up. So they always visit La Trova, and we have a good mix of local and tourists, good tourists that they go there. And locals is all year long. It's not, we don't have slow seasons like South Beach. So we have all year long the same numbers, and it's good to be in Little Havana, in Calle Ocho, Little Havana, downtown. It's good to be there, because you work with local all year long.
Right. Well, that's great. I mean, having that consistent level of business definitely helps your team. I mean, when they're, like you said, they're making money, right? So when they're making money consistently throughout the year, you're making it a great place to work. You're putting emphasis on talent and finding the right talent to fit the culture that you've built. I think that's literally the secret sauce to everybody being successful, except you're actually doing it and pulling it off. So I think that's absolutely amazing.
Thanks. Yes.
So Julio, one of the things that caught my attention when you were talking earlier was the pop-ups, right? So you said you're doing pop-ups for Cafe La Trova all over the world. What is that? Can you explain that to me?
It's something that it's important to do, to bring Cafe La Trova to places that people have not the opportunity to go to Miami, people that they don't know about La Trova, and they want to have that piece of concept, that piece of Cuba in their country. So everybody was doing it before. We started this year because when we opened Cafe La Trova was a year before pandemic, And the first year we couldn't make it. We were focused in build the everything, and we were living literally there in Cafe La Trova. So for 1 year, then pandemic came. So after pandemic, I realized that when you bring La Trova to other places, you can spread, like you can bring this concept, and you can, people can know about your place without visiting Miami, and it is important. And you have sponsors. You don't have to pay. You always find a sponsor who can take care of that, and you bring what you do, your knowledge or your techniques or something to other places as well. And it's pretty much happening in the best bars in the world. So it's something that is happening between the 50 world best bars. So they visit each other. So I've been going to Mexico to different bars that they are in the 50 best globally. So we went to Peru, Argentina. We've been going to Europe, to a lot of places, all of them within the 50 best bars in the world. So some of them, they ask La Trova, oh, can you come here and do a pop-up in my place? Say, yeah, let's find a sponsor and let's do it. And now that, sometimes we ask them, listen, can we go to your place and then you come to mine? So it's like a exchange of, and it's fun because you take your part of your staff as well, and it's something that is important, once in a while to give part of your staff the opportunity to travel, and it's like a award. It's like an award that you give them to the best employees, the people who has the most interest in learning and in working, the commitment to give them a trip to another country and to be able to work in one of the best 50 bars. So pop-up is amazing. Like you go to a lot of countries, you visit a lot of the best bars, and they come to yours as well, and they bring to your place, and they do a master class in your place about what they do in their bar that is so special, and your staff learn about that, because what they do is different of what we do at La Trova. So it's always good to know what they do, and it's good for our staff and our bartending.
Now, when you do a pop-up, obviously there's the exchange of knowledge, right? You're teaching or they're teaching if they're coming to you. Are you behind their bar as well? I mean, are you like, do you get to go out there and serve? Or your cantineros out there serving? Is that how that works? Or
yeah, we do a full takeover. So we bring our band, or we hire a Cuban band in the place we're going if they have. In some of the places, the Cuban band are really good, so it's work. So I'm behind the bar. I do a master class first, and then I go behind the bar with one of my bartenders, or two, depending the place, and we do like a Cafe La Trova night. Like 6 cocktails, 5 cocktails, and we do 4 hours, and it's really busy. Yeah, I'm working behind the bar as well. I'm still a cantinero. But it's fun. One of them is my son. My son works with me. He started at La Trova as a bar back. Now he's one of the best bartenders. Not just at La Trova, I think he's one of the best bartenders in Miami, in the country, I can say. He's amazing. So he travels with me to most of the places, and he's amazing. And the other staff or the other cantineros going to pop-ups, they're really good as well. So,
well, that's absolutely awesome. I think you talk about a perk of the job, being able to go to one of the 50th best bars in the world and craft your trade, and get a chance to visit it, and really the energy that goes with what I'm sure is a Cafe La Trova night at some of these pop-ups. That's makes me think I maybe chose the wrong profession here, doing podcasting and staffing. So maybe picked the wrong profession.
You still have time.
It sounds like I'm just getting to be the sweet spot here. I'm in my early 40s. I think I'm just in time to get started here. I like it.
So I came to the United States with 42.
Okay.
And I had to start from zero. From zero, I have to start in the United States with 42 years old. So it's not too late.
I love it. Sounds a lot more exciting than the basement I'm recording from right now, which is absolutely awesome. So with these podcasts, I always like to wrap up, and I bet you've got some great advice here, giving some advice to people who are getting into the hospitality industry right now. So Julio, if you have advice that you're giving to people as they come and work for you, what kind of advice are you giving them right now?
I can say to the young people, don't follow the money. Work really hard with passion, and the money will follow you. So if you have your passion, if you work really hard and you learn about what you're doing, I think the money will follow you, because it's happened to me. All my career, one of my things is like, I need to do what is important for tomorrow. I'm gonna do what is important today to build my career, or what is important for me to help me out what I want to reach in the future. So I imagine I was making, let's say, $60,000 a year as a bartender, and I got offered to be global brand ambassador for some brands for $150 a year, and I say no. I'm a bartender, and as a bartender, I have some other steps to climb yet. So I'm not at the end of my career as a bartender. I have some other steps, and I know when I'm at the point I want to be, and then I'm gonna open my own place to keep being a bartender, or to have the place of my dreams. It's not to be. I mean, I have nothing against brand ambassador, but it's something that I knew what I wanted, and I never changed my passion for money. Now money is following me. I mean, like I can say, I don't follow money anymore. Money follows me. I have opportunity. I have opportunity now, and it is because the night I stay awake studying, where my wife and my family were sleeping, or the nights everybody was hanging out and drinking, and I was home studying, and I was making sacrifice for other things that people were doing in order to build what I'm doing today. And it's something like that. So when you have the passion and you work hard, and you have the disciplines, and you know what I want, and you know what you want, I mean, you cannot follow money at that time. But at the end, you're gonna be rewarded, and everything pays off.
I think that's inspiring. I mean, you're absolutely correct. I mean, I think when people get into hospitality, a lot of times they get into it as a job to try to accomplish something else, right? Like your cantinero that went to be a nurse, right? Started tending bar and was planning on being a nurse, and sometimes that's how they go. I think a lot of people in hospitality forget that this is a career. This can take you anywhere you want to be. And so I think you definitely embody that, and the authentic culture you've built around Cafe La Trova is absolutely amazing. So congratulations to you, and congratulations to your team. Julio, I think you and I are getting a little bit of a reception issue here. So I'm going to let you finish your absolutely awesome tour of Panama. Thank you very much. And, we will connect later. Again, that's Cafe La Trova in Miami. If you're there, absolutely have to try to get in. One of the top restaurants in the world. So thank you very much, Julio, and have a great day.